the Jake Giffin Podcast.
Yep. A good leader teaches people and says, okay, now you guys know what I want. Just go figure it out.
Yeah. Well, and it requires some humility. I mean, we've all been young enough, and I think we've all been that guy that shows up and says, man, I think there's a better way to do this. And I mean, I had a boss one time, I had plenty of ideas. I had a lot of, we should do this and we should do that. And he was cool enough to where he was like, yeah, go ahead and give it a shot. And then like a month later, he would say, well, how'd it go? And I go, it failed miserably. It didn't work at all. And then he would say something like, yeah, it didn't work very well when I did it either. And I'm like, well, why didn't you? Like, okay. Dude, I could have saved a month, but the lesson that you learn from failing on your own kind of builds in the humility so that now being 40s and in your 50s to show up to an organization and kind of go, okay, who's been here a long time? Who do I need to listen to? Who's got the advice? Who's been through it? Like, those are the people you want to listen to. It takes a long time to get those skills and humility to say that I need to listen more than I talk. It's just, young people do it all the time. I kind of crap on them for doing that. And for anybody who's watching or listening to this podcast, don't be that guy, but you're going to be that guy at least a couple times before you realize you're that guy. And it's just listen, So you've had, man, that's a super interesting path that you've taken. I mean, from New York to now Turkey and everything in between. I mean, you've worked with some real heavy hitters, man. Steve Forbes, Brian Tracy. I mean, you've written a New York Times bestseller. Is it a New York Times bestseller book?
It was a national bestseller, yeah.
National best-selling book. I mean, if anybody were just looking at Lyubim right now and you go, okay, well, what is his expertise? Well, he's a taxation finance guru. He knows how to build teams and organize people. And then nobody would guess. Like if you told them that you were a professional skier, an Olympian, whatever, they'd be, oh, that's cool. But nobody would guess, dude. Nobody would guess from your resume that you're doing paragliding therapy style.
Yeah.
Nobody is there a lot of areas to do paragliding stuff in Turkey?
Yeah. That's one of the things, they have mountains going to the sea on all sides, and we are on the Mediterranean on the warm side. That's there are many different advantages to having, Wings for Heroes here. So it started as a recreational, let's bring them for a week, we'll show them the sea, the mountains, the culture. And then we'll go paragliding, and the goal is to literally scare them to death, so they forget for a moment that they're missing like a leg or two. And that was the idea, because like I remember I had no issues, except one, that I was like, my whole being was preoccupied with this imminent impending death that I was going to like experience. Because we were like 3,000 feet above the ground, and I'm like, I don't even know this dude behind me.
Yeah.
So, when I bring veterans here, because professional pilots who fly passengers their day is finished with the sunset, and everybody lands on the beach here. That's my volunteer pool. So I have a lot of all my pilots, friends, and all the professional majority of guys who work here, they are my volunteers. And that's how I was able to get a huge group. And we offer 24-hour concierge service, because I set up these messaging groups, where all the volunteers and all the guests are. And if the guest needs something, they just message it into the group, and one of the guys picks up, he says, I do it. And, we don't really, and there are a lot of times where they just want to sit there and watch the sunset and moonrise, and sometimes moonset, because the beach is quiet, it's peaceful, there is nobody there. And after the amount of trauma and noise they've gone through, they just want to sit there, and somebody will always sit with them even if they want to sit till the morning. So one of the things why Wings for Heroes is unique is that, it's actually a place, like when you are in the military, you are in a structured environment. You are part of something bigger, and everybody is a part, and it's like, how everybody interacts, and everybody knows how other person is important. Like, take care of another person, like you take care of, everybody takes care of each other. But then when they come back and the uniforms come off, there is no structure.
Yeah.
And especially for the guys who had amputations, they can't really, not that they can't, they think they can't, and they don't a lot of times. They just don't, they check out, they don't go out. And I thought, okay, I can ramp up numbers, because, like if I fly a lot of people and I generate the marketing machine, you can do a lot of, just volume.
Yeah.
But I thought, like, what does it take to take an amputee from like being really depressed and sitting at home to like bring him back to life? And I had one guy I've been working with, it's been more than 1 year. And he was the first one. So from recreational, he's the first guy who we flew. Then as the first one, he has an invitation to come back for like season opening and season closing. And this April, he came and he actually brought a deaf guy. His first deaf guy was.
Okay.
So the one in the middle is our number one, and the one in the red shorts he's the one who had a hand grenade dropped next to him.
Woo.
So he brings this guy. So now we have an experience, and I'll tell you one thing. It's very interesting. The experience that deaf people go through, they're a lot more traumatic than somebody who's losing a limb. Because when somebody loses a limb, like, we have empathy, right? We want to help that person all the time. It doesn't matter. Like, you see an amputee, people are really like aware, and people really want to do something. They want to help. All our guys that come here, the whole city is helping. But when somebody cannot hear and nobody knows, then you run into a situation like, we had a hotel called me and they said, "Hey, Lyubim, come over. Like, there is shouting going on in one of the rooms." And they came and the manager says, "Yeah, I went, and neighbors complained, and I was standing next to the room and I heard shouting." And they called and they said, "Look, guys, you got to keep it down." And they're like, "We're just having dinner, nobody's shouting." And you feel that the energy is down. They're really upset. And I'm walking out and I'm realizing, oh, wait, he cannot hear on one ear. So if I'm standing on the right side of him, I really have to bring up the volume.
Yeah.
And I really need to kind of scream up for him to hear me.
Right.
And I turn around and I go back down to the manager and I say, "Listen, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you, like, this guy is deaf." He's like, "What?" I said, he can hear. I said, "No." He's like,
"What?" You're like,
crying.
He's deaf.
He's grabbing phones. He said, "I am so sorry. I'm going to go deal with the neighbors. You didn't tell me. Why didn't you?" So like, you realize, like, because we cannot see that somebody is suffering, it doesn't mean that everything is great. And like, to me, it was just such a like, wow, this guy spent 3 years at zero. He is the guy who would lead everybody when they're an assault brigade. When they go attack, it's scary. And he said when the commander could not get up because he was so scared, he said, "I was the guy who got up and he led." 3 years.
Wow.
He had this grenade blow up next to him. They stitch him up. They send him out again. And
they sent him back out.
Man. Yeah, they just stitched him up and sent him out.
Yeah.
So, when he came, he was so traumatized.
Sure.
Like, all he wanted to do, he wanted to stay inside and drink. He did not want to do anything. And I said, "Look, man, I have no right to tell you." It was just like 3 weeks since he came back. So he was really recent. I said, "I cannot tell you anything. If you want to stay in here, drink, it's cool. Here's one of the volunteers. He is assigned to you. He will do whatever.
Yeah.
We are not judging you, but you're in the group, in the chat. If you see that something you like and you come, I would love to see you. And if you cannot, I understand that you're going through a lot of things, and I'm not judging you. I'm not pressuring you. Don't come if you can." This is the next day. This photo?
Yeah.
He was not supposed to be in this picture, and he was not supposed to be in this world, But he showed up, and we actually snapped this picture the following day. And, like, these guys they're kids, first of all.
Yeah.
They're kids. They have not seen much in their life. And then war came to their home and it took them out of their home, and they did their job, and now they have nothing to do.
Right.
And Wings for Heroes is actually, they were the stepping stone, because I am an American, and I'm going to bring Americans here to Turkey to rehab, because it will be a lot cheaper for me to fly somebody from the United States to rehab them here, housing, food, physical training, swimming.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. No kidding.
So,
Why?
so that month, when we had our season opening, I asked number one, I said, look, come on, let's go. The amputee, I said, let's go to see my physical therapist. I have this issue with my shoulder. I always have to work on it. And I said, come on, let's go check your leg. Leg. We go to my physical therapist. She looks at his leg and she's like, oh my God, Lyubim, look at his leg. I said, what? She said, look at his leg. He says, it's strong, but because he's always standing on one leg and it's compressing the muscles, it's to the point where it's pressing on his sciatic nerve.
Yeah.
Look at his stride, and his stride, he's like kicking to the side, He said, the prosthetic is okay because, it's not, it could be, but when the person is kicking the leg like this to the side, it's a sciatic nerve. And because he's a big, active kid, he's 23 years old, he's huge, he's like 6 something, really.
Yeah, he looks big.
Put on some weight, some.
Yeah.
We have a photo where he's on a horse. There you relatively see how much weight he gained.
Yeah.
It's like strong horse.
Yeah, this is a strong horse.
Anyways,
So when you
I said, what do we do? She said, he needs physical therapy. I said, for how long? She says, 1 month intense, and then we see if we can save his only leg or not. So I bring him in, and we have 12 physical therapy sessions, 10 swimming sessions. We have a triathlon Olympic coach here. We had unlimited cycling sessions. We have a guy who teaches our cycling here. He's 2 times Olympian. He went to Rio and London. So when it comes to cycling, he brings the team, he brings the kids, everything. It's just like it's a huge event always. His flags, it's like he's ready to go every day. Yeah. So I have this awesome team, and basically to fly them, to house them, to do all that stuff, it cost me $4,000 for a month.
What?
Everything included.
That's $4,000. What would that cost here in the States? That would be $15,000. You'd have to mortgage a house.
So I'm saying it's cheaper to fly them here, but the thing is that because the weather is here and I have so many volunteers who serve, it's a community and they find what they're missing, and that's what makes them feel human and connected. And
So Wings for Heroes, though, it's not just flying. It's not just jumping off a cliff with a bag above your head. It's a lot.
So that's a recreational.
Yeah.
And now I thought it was the end, but that was the beginning. And now I have physical therapy. I added psychologists. I have coaches. I have all the people and staff. And it's like, by following a need of one guy from he was sitting at home depressed, and now he's a captain of his amputee soccer team.
Oh, wow. Okay.
After rehab, he's just in such great shape.
Dude, I'm sorry. I'm getting hung up on amputee soccer team. I'm just, in my mind, I short-circuited, dude. I got a weird sense of humor, but I got amputee soccer. So
on crutches?
On crutches. God bless. You play soccer on crutches.
And they have a same soccer size.
It's a full arena.
Size.
It's a full field, huh?
Yeah.
God bless. On crutches?
Yeah.
Dude, those armpits their armpits have to be just the toughest armpits in the world.
Titanium, right? Yeah. But they have those, the ones that goes on your elbow. I don't know if it goes under. I think it's the elbow type.
Oh, those guys have to be super jacked.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Our guy is a super jacked, and one thing is that he's playing soccer, he's traveling, he took his girlfriend for a trip to France. They went to Paris, they went to Berlin,
Yeah.
and he qualified for a $75,000 prosthetic leg that the government paid for. See, his biggest issue besides losing a leg is losing a leg above the knee. The knee is responsible, stand up, get out, jump, run. So he did not have a knee. And this new $75,000 prosthetic leg, it has sensors, it has AI.
Woo.
And putting it in the words of our youngest volunteer is 5 years old. And she said, when he comes back with this new prosthetic leg, he says he can jump, he can ride bikes, and he can swim just like us.
Wow. Thank God for
just like us.
technology, dude.
It's amazing. That thing is it costs more than a Range Rover, but it replaces a knee.
I mean, barely. Barely. I mean, a base model Range Rover probably goes for about $7, same, but it's, so this is amazing. So Wings for Heroes, when you hear the name, if you don't know much about it, you think, all right, we're taking some guys out to a cliff, 3,000 foot, off the ground, and we're sending them sailing and that. But you've built a program. It's not only, and it's not just any program. It's a program that takes them to Turkey. Would you say it's a month long where you have programs where you're going to fly them?
So again, recreational. They're 10 days. They just come and they relax, and we do a lot of cultural things. They're busy from day to night, and then they go flying. That's their highlight. Okay. And then there is a rehab. So this year added rehab. So far successfully completed the physical part of it, but we realized that, we need a psychologist, and they went and they found a psychologist.
If you enjoyed this show, make sure to subscribe and leave a review. For more information about Jake, log on to jakegiffin.com and find him on all social media platforms.